Hi everybody, this is Sister Omi. I hope everyone is doing well. I am doing the new moon in Aries reading. And this is for the sign of Capricorn. So this is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This reading is for you. So this Aries new moon, this is a good time to reevaluate ourselves. This is also the time where we're at the end of the Pisces season. A month ago we had the new moon in Pisces. So now we have this new moon in Aries, and we're beginning the Aries season. It's the beginning of springtime, and it's on and popping, right? So now's the time to make some solid, realistic plans to set the stage at what we want for our future to be. And Aries, what is Aries? Charge forward. How are we going to move forward to create the change that we want, positive or negatively? So Aries new moon, but this is for the sign of Capricorn. What I pulled for you is spiritual awakening. Now, when we think of a spiritual awakening, I like kind of way this is highlighted. It's like having that great epiphany, right? Having that moment, that epiphany. But at the same time, we think about things we say, because this is the crown chakra. What do your mind, what are you thinking? Or things people say, that's the spirit, right? God willing, I know mine is like, God willing, a creek don't rise. Or you gotta have faith, things like that come up with this particular chakra that we unconsciously say, but if we really want to think about it, it really does kind of make sense. But this crown chakra, this is how we align to spiritual values. Do you have a spiritual connection, like your concept of God, angels, your ancestors, or Buddha, Muhammad, whatever floats your boat? But what is your connection to a God source? Knowing that God is all-knowing, all-loving, that what we have here, the spiritual awakening, the I am presence. What is that sense of peace, clarity? Now, if you're into meditation, the clear crystal, the selenite, this is good. You can put this in your hand and focus on that if you want to use like crystal to meditate, or some people want to focus on the white light or envision the white light within you. Or I know like that tube of the great tube of light with all the colors of the chakra, or all the colors in the spectrum. That is what you're focusing on to bring yourself centered and to connect more with the God of your understanding. Now, pulling this spiritual awakening, this is really a powerful time, given what's going on in the world today. This is really, I think, a good time to to connect with that spiritual consciousness, that universal consciousness. Our hearts are opening and expanding based on our experiences to a deeper sense of love and wisdom. Awareness is expanding. A connection to the wisdom of the universe is strong. Are you being asked to let go of anything that is stopping you from experiencing that deep connection at the present? It's time to discard a lot of old beliefs and bring new ones in for support and growth. Now, there's a process here, like we have meditation, or I don't know what whatever it is you do. Like I know one person, they love yoga. I know another person who loves going to the gym. I know someone else who just loves going to church. Whatever your thing is, I think this is a good time to tap into that. And your vibration, your energy is moving, and to refine that state of well-being and to tap into your core self. And realize all good things take time, and it is a process. So this also is a time that is going to be requiring some patience. Realize that you embody wisdom. And how do you tap into that? Is that connection with the source. So at this Aries moon, this is a good time to restart, renew, and connect with that spiritual core that is you. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. So this is the gist of our meeting. Now this is that crown chakra. And with that crown chakra, it is imperative that, you know, a lot of foods are not necessarily associated with the crown chakra. Maybe like blueberries and deep purple or deep blue like grapes or whatever. When especially with the crown chakra, it's imperative to work that root chakra. So make sure you're getting enough like root vegetables, protein, proper sleep, and exercise. You know, you're as strong as your foundation, or your mind is going to be stronger if you keep that foundation strong. And with that said, now, wait, I see there's a little glare here. I'm trying to just get rid of the glare. Maybe I need to adjust this. Give me a moment here. I think that'll do it. Okay. So, with that said, now, I was supposed to pick one of each card, but, you know, Spirit is in control. Just when you think you're in control, Spirit lets you know you're not in control. So, I pulled some cards here for this new moon in Aries for the sign of Capricorn. And the first card I got here is Crack Open. I think this is a Crack Open, the rose, right? The roses are interesting. Rose adores poetry, but despite popular belief, she simply can't get with that mushy lifestyle. Rose knows that to experience love in full, you need to be a strong vessel, while at the same time cracking open, right? That's somewhat of a contradiction, more than a contradiction. Than flowers and thorns, right? Or is that more like an oxymoron, right? Rose reminds you to embrace dualities and say both and instead of either or. And the rose basically wears her thorns. So we tend to what? We tend to our appearance. We choose our clothing colors that complement our complexion, your style, your hair, all of these things. And then we add a layer of thorns on top of that for primping by incorporating a symbol of protection to our attire. Maybe it's a color that acts like a warning in nature, like bright red and black, or warning colors. Think, right? A black leather jacket or a red scarf. Maybe it's a protective jewelry like the Celtic cultures wore amber for protection, and some Native American tribes wear turquoise. So if you have long hair, try adding color sticks. Yeah, that's a symbol of your weaponry. Like I believe the Orientals, they put those like spikes in their hair. Is it Oriental? Yeah, they have like the spikes which they can use as weapons. They're thorns. Yeah, so notice how your awareness of thorns makes it easier to walk the world with an open heart, knowing that you have your weapons. So you're being encouraged here to crack open, right? And you see how it has like the blade in the middle? That sword. Capricorn, when you deal with the tarot, is the devil card. In astrology, the symbol of Capricorn is I use. You use weapons, or like the devil card is maybe like a form of manipulation. Or if we're looking at it from the sense of being oxymoron, like the roses, you want love, but you repel it. Or do you want friends, but what is it? You try to threaten or intimidate. I'm just saying. I know all Capricorns are not like that. And this is general. This is not an individual reading. So take what resonates and leave the rest, okay? So this is also a reminder to look at your whole self. It's much better sometimes to love others. And for this reason, according to the rose, we're too close to ourselves to maybe examine ourselves. So this is a reason why we need to get in contact or reestablish our connection to our spiritual being. So the questions you may want to ask yourself, Capricorn, is what kind of friend are you? Let's go to the oxymoron. Are you really a friend, or are you that I use or the devil card? How do you care and nurture for and protect the people around you, especially if you want them to do the same thing for you? Do you do that? How do you care and nurture and protect yourself? What are you exceptionally good at? Tap into that, and it's like that light, that epiphany, that light bulb that goes off into your head. This new moon, this moon in Aries is fire, so this is going to stimulate some serious thought here. If we're going to use this fire to stimulate thought and reevaluate ourselves and think about ourselves and what are we doing that may be blocking or hindering, or what are we doing that could be really used in other ways versus how they're being used now. That light bulb go off. But you're being asked to see yourself as a whole, not just a piece of yourself. Look at your whole self. See yourself in your complete entirety. Your entire self. And with that said, now I pulled 2 other cards. Now I meant to put one of each, but hey, Spirit was running the show here, so I had no. It wasn't up to me, right? It just wasn't up to me. So we have the pomegranate, which is associated with the 9 of airs. 9 of air. Now, when you think of 9s in itself, this is about fulfillment. This is about enjoyment. This is about celebrating triumphs. You're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. 9 is made possible by saying yes to an invitation of the 7s. You know, going through... Oh, my nose is itching. By going through the journey of the fool, right? But here we have the pomegranate. And the pomegranate is asking you to know love, know grief, claim your underworld crown, know that you are sky and everything else is weather. If you know that you are sky, you know that you can connect with the great I am. You know that you connect with that great universal concept. You can change or evolve from the spot that you are, positively or negatively. And then if we really think about the 9 of air, we think about being cautious or taking precautions, because you might have to defend yourself, and you may need all of your hidden reserves to move forward positively, because we want to stay in the affirmative. This is about ascension and evolving. Now, pulling this, you let go of what you cannot control. The pomegranate is the tree that leads, and when you think of Greek mythology, the pomegranate was given to, was it Demeter? So that we have the season. She was given the pomegranate to make sure that she always returns at springtime. Is it spring or summer? She was the daughter of Persephone. It's why we have the season change, like from the first half of the year to the fall, winter, then spring. She comes back in the spring, stays through the summer. That's what it was. The pomegranate. She was the daughter of Persephone. And so she, maybe even with you, Capricorn, maybe there's some deep sorrow that you may have been holding on to. And those are your thorns. Or why you can't, or maybe some people can't get past that because you wear your thorns bravely. You wear your thorns proudly. And then we're going to stay to the positive, right? And this is what happened with Persephone's daughter. She was saddened, but that pomegranate allowed for her to come back each season. Or from the winter, after winter, she was allowed to return. And that's why we have the spring, summer. Now, don't hold me to the season she gets back, but this is based on Greek mythology. So maybe this was something with you. Now, this is something you can learn to let go of, something through your childhood, some type of experience. Maybe it's time to let go of that and have that great spiritual awakening. And then you don't have to feel as if you always have to be cautious. But this is air of the mind, crown of the mind. Now, you also got, I'm not really sure, so I got to be honest with you. I'm not sure of the pronunciation. H-I-J-A, Hija, of fire. But this is about play, wonder, and innocence. So maybe this is coming up because you need to remember the innocence of a child, or tap into that joy and wonderment that maybe you missed because you were forced maybe at a early age you always had to take care. You always had to be responsible from a very early age, and maybe that's why that rose, you have those thorns. So, but if you think about it, children approach adventure with playfulness and little commitment to the outcome. So pulling this is a call for us to wonder and be in awe, to be excited, And just look at that table. Everything on that table is like fun stuff. Like the flowers, like what is she going to create? She's about to create something. Fire, that's that primal energy. We got this fire, this Aries new moon. This is about creating enthusiasm of a beginner, boisterous play, then sweet sleep light up the landscape with a lot of joy. So the fire jumps at a chance to be creative. She cannot wait to begin a new project. She approaches everything with playfulness of a child, knowing the strong elixir of the California poppy creates magic. Poppies! So take small but confident steps towards independence. The poppy flowers are light. You could draw, they're beautiful. Or maybe even if, like some of these flowers, or maybe an incense if you're into the meditation, to get that sense of the poppy, the pomegranate, and the rose, for that matter. Use these scents in meditation as you're focusing on connecting with the great I am, as you're focusing on connecting with your deeper inner self, your true self, yourself behind those thorns. The real self, the child that wants to come out and play. You want to focus on that. You know love, you know grief, but in spite of that this is tapping to the epiphany. Even though you know love and grief, you know there's something more. That's why I think this is so beautiful, how this window is open. It's like that fragrance. I don't even know, to be honest with you, if you can get pomegranate incense. But hey, maybe just eat some pomegranates and use that pomegranate as you're eating it, and just focusing on the scents, the taste, the smells. And maybe that's going to trigger a memory of that will bring you some joy. Now, I also have here, I say Capricorn, you got 2 tarot, you got 2 trees. I was going for one, but I guess this is what is, right? So I pulled a crystal, and you got the rose quartz with the rose, okay? And it is in the heart. So this is about unconditional love. Unconditional love and infinite peace that you can get through a spiritual awakening. And this is about loving relationships. This is about healing past emotional traumas, or provides a support during any crisis. So if you have a rose quartz, which I have right here, this is a rose quartz. Maybe if you're going to do medication, don't do medication. Okay, don't smoke the poppies. But if you're going to meditate, you can use the selenite, but maybe it would be good to also use like a rose quartz and as a focal point. Now, whatever it is, maybe you just need to forgive yourself and don't accept blame for things that happened in the past. Just recognize that unconditional love and friendship draw exactly the right people to you. So we think about that pomegranate and that poppy. That's what that's about. Tapping in and letting some of your guard down. Unconditional love is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Unconditional love is something that radiates past the thorns. Interesting. I think that's very interesting. Now, you got 2 trees. So one is the almond tree. What I think is interesting about almonds, because they're hard nuts to crack. And this is what this rose is about, cracking open, right? Getting past those thorns, right? I'm just saying. Inner riches grow from psychological maturity, bringing a windfall of good fortune. So this is about, maybe it's you, or maybe there's people around you that you may think are tough nuts to crack. Possibly. But this is an indication that if you take that time, tap into your spiritual awareness, take a good deep look at your whole self, right? Isn't that what the rose wants you to do? Look at see your whole self, inside and out, and be able to celebrate. You don't know, maybe you're going to get invited to something that's going to lead to many sweet things. But that psychological maturity here is going to happen. You see that light goes off, and taking your own inventory, looking at your gifts, what you bring to the table. And the other tree that you got is fulfillment, the mimosa tree. Might, activity, energy, and faithful enthusiasm bring the sure beauty of your objective. What are you working on, or what seeds do you want to plant at this new moon that's positive? Positive. Capricorn. The mimosa tree. This is encouraging you to rebalance yourself emotionally and physically. Wholeness can grow only once you balance yourself, or rebalance yourself emotionally and physically. So that rebalance, are they old wounds? Is why you wear your thorns? The rose wants you to look at your whole self. The spiritual awakening that you will have when you look at your whole self is, the blessing is unconditional love, and the blessing is a whole different type of fulfillment that you probably didn't think was possible, because in a sense you may have been guarded. Looking at it, all these cards at this particular, the way they're going here. Because even with the pomegranate, you have to accept that you've had grief in your life, and to be able with that to look at things that were enjoyable, what brought you joy. And then also with this basically the page of fire, this California poppy, this is about the playfulness, the wonderment. That's like looking at things from the eyes of a child to create enthusiasm. You're looking to create joy. And to do those things, it's like you got to put that sword away. But that's your choice. But like I said, this reading is general, so take what applies and leave the rest. But Capricorn, let me know what you think, because honestly, these new moon readings have been totally different from any readings I have done. And actually, I'm finding a lot of joy in doing them. So, let me know what you think. Write your comment down below. Comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, alright? This is Sister Omi. Peace.